and welcome to another episode of Brooklyn's World. So I've been to see my dietitian again and things are going well. I am managing to try new foods each week and I am keeping in all of the foods that don't make me sick, and the list is increasing, which is something that I never ever thought I would be able to do. This little experiment really is like basically retraining myself to know how to eat again and know what to eat again. It's all a very strange experience. My weight is still the same even though I am eating more. And for all the doctors that told me, just eat more and you'll be better, I think they were totally full of it. The main thing that came out of the appointment was she wants me to eat more carbs. So I'm not opposed to that. I love carbs, especially bread. It's my friend. She also wants me to be eating more fruit. Now, fruit is something that I have big issues with, and even to this day, I have been trying and trying, but I really haven't found anything that suits me properly yet. But I will keep trying. And before I left the appointment, my dietitian said to me, "With you, Brooke, slowly is the key. We will get there." My hands, due to my lupus and my fibromyalgia, have given me grief for the past 9 years. And no remedy or anything that anybody has said to me has really helped. My hands are always sore. Sometimes they feel like they're on fire. And I'm very sure that I'm not imagining this, that they lose their grip and they lose their strength. But no one believes me. Specialists have been able to find a medication that takes away the burning sensation, and they've classed that as nerve pain. So that one is sort of under control most of the time. But all of the other symptoms remain. I have tried just about every medication that anybody can think of to give me to try to treat this, and I get side effects from all of them. So medication-wise, I'm pretty much out of options at the moment. A couple of weeks ago, I was in a fibromyalgia flare, and it really affected my hands. And it was like they seized up. My hand went into this very strange looking position, and no matter how hard I tried to be able to move it out of that position, it was not moving. But at the same time, trying to move my hand was extremely painful. So I was kind of stuck for about half an hour or so until it just settled down by itself. Now, because that has never happened to me or my hands before, it actually gave me a little bit of a scare, and I didn't really know what to do. So I just wrote it out and then just continued on with my day, hoping that it wouldn't happen again. But about a week later, exactly the same thing happened. So I just thought, right, I've had enough of this. I've had enough of doctors not really being very helpful or not even believing that there is anything wrong with my hands. And because I'm on a bit of a, if you want something done, go and do it yourself little tangent at the moment, I decided that it was time for me to see a hand therapist. So I went to the doctor and asked his opinion, and he did agree with me that it probably is time for a hand therapist. So he gave me all the information that I needed, and an appointment was made. I was hoping that the hand therapist would be able to give me some form of splint or something like that that would be able to support my hand and give me a little bit of pain relief if this type of thing ever happened again. I really didn't want to just go to a chemist or go on the internet and just buy some random hand splint or glove, because I'm not really into diagnosing myself as such with things that I think that I need an aid for, because I think that's where a professional needs to come in to make sure that the fit's right and it's not going to do any damage or not going to cause any other problems. I wanted to see a specialist so that something could be made just for me. When I first started speaking to the hand specialist, she sort of gave me one of those looks I'm oh so familiar with and said, "Gee, you're a complex case." Wow, like I've never heard that before. After speaking some more and giving a little bit more detail about my hands and how I think that they go weak and they lose their strength, she kind of had that look on her face, which once again I'm so used to seeing, which is the look of, there's nothing wrong with you. But when she did some testing on my hands, she soon changed her tune. The test actually showed that I do have a deficit in strength and function in both of my hands. She really seemed quite surprised at the results, but then she started taking me seriously. Initially, she asked me to do some exercises for my hands, and even when she was showing me what to do and then I was repeating exactly what she was showing, my hands started to hurt quite badly, so we actually had to stop what we were doing. After this, and without me bringing up this in any discussion that we had had on this day, she said to me that she does think that I do need a brace for my right hand because that is my weakest, and obviously it does need some support at times. She actually made a brace for me while I was there, and it was so good to know that this had been made especially for me. And here is my brace. That has been made just for me. So I'll see how things go over the next few weeks with doing the exercises for my hands. But at least now, if my hands are really playing up and the exercises aren't really helping me, I will have Bracey, who does give me that support and that extra help that I need during those really hard times. And I'm back again. Before I had my appointment with the lupus clinic, I was given a surprise phone call from the pharmacy of the hospital who just wanted to go all over the medications and supplements that I'm taking. And woohoo, I'm doing excellent. Everything that I'm taking is perfectly fine. All the dosages are correct and there's no interactions between anything. The man I was talking to really seemed quite surprised about how I was managing my medications. And I said to him that I'm extremely diligent because basically I don't want to die and I want everything to stay as under control as I can possibly help make it under control. Then I had my actual appointment, and extremely good news, my lupus is still stable and under control. They decided that they're not touching anything to do with my treatment or my medications because they don't want to touch anything with the risk that it might upset the balance of what I've got going on at the moment. I was happy with that. Next time I get my blood test done, they asked if they could take a few extra samples of my blood for some new test that they're doing. So because I'm part of the lupus research group, I was very happy for them to give permission to be able to take a few little extra bits of blood from me, considering they'll already be taking some, so a few more vials won't really matter. Just as a random question, I asked if in the next lot of blood tests I got, if they would be able to add in to get my serotonin levels checked. This was just because of what the psychologist had said, that she thinks that my serotonin levels are extremely high. What I didn't know is this is a very specialised test and even the hospital doesn't do it. So I was told to discuss it with my doctor and see if they were able to help me get linked in with a lab that will be able to do that test for me. But they did think that it would be a good idea just to see where things lie. I also asked if there's been any miraculous new drug treatments that have come out lately, and I was told no. But they did say that there is a new drug that will be coming out at the end of the year. So that's promising. But then they said that I wouldn't qualify for it because it's only for people whose lupus is really out of control and not responding to anything else. So that was disappointing. But on the other side, I am glad that I don't actually need that sort of drug because really, I'm okay at the moment. At my gastroenterology appointment, it seems that I still am a little bit of a mystery, which that's not unusual, but I will give them a little bit of credit because they are still trying to help me and they haven't dismissed me yet, unlike so many others. They basically said that at the moment, all they can really do for me is just fine-tune my treatments and medications and see what works for me and what doesn't, because I'm not a person who fits the usual mold. They were very happy that I am holding my weight stable because that means that I'm now starting to absorb some nutrition. We discussed the pain and discomfort that I'm in basically 24 hours a day. And the doctor said that I now have chronic pain. He said that he didn't want to start me on opioids, and I was quite grateful for that because I don't really want to go down that path either. He then started talking about recommending me to go and see a gut psychologist. Where have I heard that before? Then he actually recommended the gut psychologist that the previous gastroenterologist had mentioned. So I'm thinking that that place must be okay. He then said that I may never ever be pain-free because all of this has just gone on for so long. The recommendation for the gut psychologist I actually had been in contact with, but I just hadn't made an appointment yet, and there was quite a few months wait to be able to get into their program. But I'm kind of thinking now that I've had this discussion with this gastroenterologist as well, that maybe I should explore this a bit more and just bite the bullet and make the appointment and see what it's all about. I was given a different type of medication for nausea, one that I hadn't tried before. So I'm hoping that if I can have some of that and see how that works, hopefully that will be able to help me a little bit better than the ones that I currently take. That was that. No real answers, no real solutions, no extra diagnosis, nothing. But I am still linked in with them and they do want to see me again in 3 months. So all of that is positive. The appointment was okay, even though not really very exciting, but I feel good that I am still linked in with somebody because that's what I need at the moment. I need that support around me. Thanks again for following along with a bit more of my journey, and I will see you next time.